Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So in today's video, the characters we're looking into are the Boogle Bots. So we'll go into these characters' locations, backstory, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. As always, I'll just state that this isn't linked to the overall universe and lore of Poppy Playtime. This is just a fun what-if scenario story, and we hope you enjoy it. And lastly, before we start today's video, do be sure to subscribe to GamerTube as it helps out a lot and it keeps you up to date with all the videos that we post. Alrighty, well, let's get to the character concept of the Boogle Bots. So previously in our last video, our main protagonist came up against the monstrous character, the Spider Hug. This creature was a twisted combination of Huggy Wuggy and Mummy Longlegs. It was never revealed who made this abomination, but one could only assume it was created by Experiment 1006. After the main character narrowly escaped the Spider Hug, they then found themselves in yet another new area of the factory. And this location is the Maintenance and Service area. This is where the Playtime co-workers would repair and maintain all the machinery and toy characters at the factory. They could repair anything from forklifts and loaders, to GrabPack maintenance, and even some of the toy characters here at the factory. If Huggy Wuggy would damage or rip his fur, the maintenance crew would be able to patch him up. Same goes for Mummy Longlegs. If any of her rubberized plastic body parts would crack or split, they would be able to repair her as well. But the workers didn't do all this work alone. They had a helping hand from 3 little individuals. And these little helpers were called the Boogle Bots. These were 3 individual robotic characters that all had a different purpose. Their names are Flamble, Electral, and Sprayball. Flamble had the ability of fire. This would allow them to light any furnaces or superheat anything the workers needed. They could also weld metal objects, which definitely came in handy for repairs. Then we have Electral's ability, which hence the name, was aimed at electrical work. Electral had the ability to supply electricity and also act as an insulator that could bridge between different power lines. They were also very handy as a backup generator as well. And lastly we have Sprayball, who had the ability to spray and supply water. They were able to supply drinking water to other areas of the factory, suck up any liquids or spills, and also use their power jets for cleaning. They mainly would put out the fires that Flamble would start as well. All of the Boogle Bots could either work freely or be operated by a remote control device. As our main protagonist wanders through this area, they can see that this place has been trashed. Multiple wires have been cut and damaged, there's wooden debris blocking walkways, and multiple dangerous liquids that have been spilled all over the place. If the player was going to make it through this area safely, then they could really use some help from the Boogle Bots. The only thing was, they just had to find them first. As the player explores this area, they come across the Maintenance Operations HQ. This could be where the Boogle Bots were being stored. The main door to the HQ opens up as they walk through. And sure enough, there they are. All 3 of them lined up in a row. They seem to be locked into some kind of charging bay. The player needs to figure out a number of electrical puzzles in order to activate the bots. After completing these puzzles, they finally free the bots from their charging bay. Right in front of the player emerges a remote control device from the ground. They attach it to their GrabPack and activate the Boogle Bots. Now they have total control over where they move and what they do. The player has multiple options that they can choose. The player can move all the bots together with the green movement cursor, or they can move individual bots with the different coloured cursors. When the player comes to an obstacle, then they would need to use the action cursor. This would activate the certain Boogle Bot to do their specific task. The first obstacle that the player comes across is a stack of wooden debris blocking the way forward. The player needs to use Flamble to light the wood and let it burn. When the wood was done burning, it would then be Sprayball's turn to extinguish the flames. Finally, the walkway was clear. Now the player is faced with a malfunctioning gate. It seems the power supply has been cut and needs to be bridged. The GrabPack isn't designed to grab onto severed wires, but luckily for the player, electrical is. So they use electrical to grab onto both ends of the wires and bridge the connection to the door. A current of electricity passes through them and the gate opens up. The player is now faced with a large spill of a mystery liquid blocking their path. They aren't too sure what it is, but whatever it is, it looks pretty nasty. Now was Sprayball's time to shine. The player uses their action cursor and commands Sprayball to use their water jet. They wash away all the toxic chemicals, and now the player is free to walk on by. Now the player and the Boogle Bots come to the final obstacle. There's a platform that leads up to the exit, but the platform can't be lowered due to a bunch of wood underneath it. Next to the platform is a grab switch to activate it, but unfortunately the wires have been severed once again. So the player now needs to use all the Boogle Bots' abilities at once. First, the player commands electrical to bridge the gap between the severed wires. Once completed, the GrabPack switch lights up. Now to deal with the wooden debris. Next, they command Flamble to ignite the debris until it's well and truly burnt to ashes. But now the player can't possibly get up on the platform without getting burnt. So they get Sprayball to douse the flame with their water jets. The player activates the platform and raises it to the exit. Finally, they've made it through this area. But they couldn't have done it without the help of the 3 little Boogle Bots. The bots were more than happy to help and were glad that the player could move on. The player says goodbye to the little bots and sets off on their way. But they have a feeling this might not be the last time they see them. Hopefully they can lend a helping hand once again sometime in the future. So I think the idea of the Boogle Bots would be great to see in Chapter 3. I think they could offer a fun new way to solve puzzles and overcome obstacles. But as if we see any characters like this in Chapter 3, we'll just have to wait and see. Alrighty everyone, well that's what we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of the Boogle Bots and what you'd like to see going forward. Alrighty everyone, well, to the next video, I'll catch you later, bye.